For some reason, I have two. The stream is here twice, and I don't know how to stop it.
What do you mean?
I have the Twitch pulled up in a smaller window,
Yeah.
and for some reason, it's got like the stream, and then a tiny stream, and then the chat under it, like there's an ad playing, but there's no ad. So I just have two streams.
Well, there you have been inception. This is the stream within the stream within the stream.
That's too much me on my. There's 3 me's that I can see right now, and that's too many.
But 3, 2.
Wake
No.
up, Chris.
Wait, can you see
Wake
it in my
up.
glasses?
Yeah, I can kind of
look,
see
you
it.
can.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Sometimes if I'm really hydrated, I have multiple streams.
Wow.
Go home. Go home.
He's like, I'm out. I'm out.
I fear he is home,
What do you do?
actually.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Age of Intervention, The Hunted. We are back after a week. God, has it already only been a week? We actually played last week, right?
I feel like we played 3 days ago.
I feel like it's been literally a month. It's been
Yeah,
there's-
like the time dilation.
oh my
Something's
gosh.
happening
Something's
on a
yeah.
universal scale.
I've worked every single day, and so
Since
when
it-
I messaged the group
oh.
today, I straight up was like, "What fucking day is it?" Am I messaging the group correctly? Are we playing tonight?
It's
it
today
Tuesday?
It's today Thursday. Yeah. Well, we are once again on Thursday. I guess it was last week. That's really crazy. I feel like
Yep.
it was a month ago. Whew. Time is a weird soup, and it is both chunky and a broth at the same time.
I don't like either of those words, and you said them one after another.
I don't know why
either.
my brain.
The way you
like,
said it, no.
My brain, for some reason, auto completed that with French onion soup, and I couldn't tell you why.
I got clam chowder.
There, a clam
That's-
chowder.
I'm soup to be. Clam chowder.
Time is a
Time?
delicious ramen.
Ooh.
That
I can
sound.
get behind that.
Chris, are you about to do some what's it
Shameless
called?
plugging. Maybe they'll
Shameless
start
plugging.
paying me more.
This episode brought to you by some ramen.
This episode is not sponsored by Tampopo Ramen.
Maruchan.
But if it was, maybe I could afford to take a day off.
But nice. All right. Okay. Let's see. Announcements. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any, I don't think. Tomorrow night I totally forgot. Tomorrow night we're doing the Age of Myth in Space little special. So you get to see some one-on-one bonus content of me and Sandra over here. And also
Not the OnlyFans.
not the only
Oh my god.
No.
and then also me and Graham, interestingly enough. Oh no.
I'd watch that.
Oh, actually, it's me, Graham, and Mika. So
Oh.
it's a good time. So definitely come check that out. 7 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Friday the 28th. Oh my God, it's almost April. I'm only down right here.
Don't remind me.
I know it's gonna be April's gonna go by real fast. Got a lot of stuff.
So fast.
It did. What a spectacular month it was. Woo! Let's see. But yeah, no, I can't think of anything else. Come hang out with us on next Tuesday. I have no idea what we're doing yet. Maybe we'll play some Helldivers. That'd be kind of fun. We'll do a Helldiver stream. Or we'll play some Repo. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Dimitri's like, yes. All right.
I haven't played that one yet.
I haven't either. I also haven't bought it yet, but it's, it looks really fun, and I keep seeing more and more videos of how fun it is. So, we'll give it a shot. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's about it. So, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoy. We're gonna get started with tonight's game. We'll start off with the intro. Yes, sorry. Oh, what? Ash. Oh. These are lovely players.
You hate us.
No, I just totally forgot. I'm not used to always introducing people. Now this is
I'm
the
gonna
only
be
stream.
honest, I don't think you introduced us last week, and no one said a thing.
Yeah.
No, we have a special viewer, perhaps, and it's like
Oh.
we don't want to be known. You want to create some space there.
No.
A level of anonymity.
Okay,
It's
listen.
okay. I know how to find them on Facebook.
No. So there's the strong possibility that my mother
That's
is
a threat.
watching right now. So that being said,
Give her
these
mod
are our yeah, mods. Oh my gosh, everyone's gonna get banned.
Mod mom.
Mod mom. Everyone's getting banned.
Hashtag mod mom.
Banned. All right. In that case, these are our lovely players tonight. We have Esh.
I'm Esh.
Is that a hot pocket or a Pop Tart?
Flatbread we put like garlic
Oh.
and cheese on.
I was wrong on
I-
both accounts.
I-
It melts like a
I was thinking
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart.
I always thought Pop Tart too, and then I was like, no, that's not. That's it's a flattened. Praise the mother. Praise the mother. Oh, love that. All right, this is Esh over here. Next
That's what I
to
said.
I know, and then next to Esh we have Ezra. Yay! And then over here
Praise
we
the
have.
mother.
Is that the new phrase for today?
Every time we see it in chat, we'll do
Praise the
this,
mother.
no matter what we're doing.
And then down here we have Dimitri. Yay. And we have in the other corner Senna, who is currently driving on their way home from work. So please be careful. Don't get in trouble.
If I die on the road, everyone will hear.
No! Don't say that. Don't
You
worry.
have the option to do something really funny now.
No, you don't.
I have an
You don't.
obligation.
And that is when the intro stops playing, you play an audio of a car crash.
That is terrible. No, listen. If San Antonio traffic has taught me anything, is he probably isn't being able to go fast enough to get into any serious accident. It's just gonna be a bumper, bumper. What's it called? Fender bender.
Fender bender.
Fender
Bender.
Bumper.
We're not
It's
gonna get through this.
Bumper cars is
Oh,
a different
no.
thing.
Let's start the intro. Let's go. Okay, let's go.
The year is 1805, and our world is about to suffer its greatest threat in over 2,000 years. Since the dawn of civilization, our kind has stood vigilant over our mortal brothers and sisters, protecting them from the darkness that hunts and consumes us. For a time, we thought we had pushed that evil away. All that then remained was to watch the stars for when or if it would ever return. We stood too attentive, however, to that abyss beyond, that we did not see the threat that our brethren would become to us. During the collapse and the centuries that followed, we lost much to the cruelty, greed, and prejudice of man. Now, we have taken to the shadows, so that we might still protect our people, even if in doing so we risk being executed for what we are. For there are more of them than there are of us, and we dare not become the monsters that our forefathers became. the midst of all of civilization's triumphs, we would become.
Consume your dice if they disrespect you.
The Mathrax.
These
It
dice
is
are
the
metal.
law.
Here we go.
Consume your dice.
And then when they come out the other end,
Trial submission.
it better be a nat 20.
1A. First noted occurrence. 9th of March 6, 1805, calendar year of Earth. As reported by Esh Madhawk. 2 students had been assigned to Esh Madhawk for tutelage in the ways of espionage, information gathering, and processing. And being able to use their, I believe, Orphic talents to blend into the mass populace. On the 2nd night of their training, upon reaching the city of Oldenburg, Germany, a performance was given by Esch's traveling group, the House of Pentacles. I understand that they too have some relation to the Fold, though at this time it is not pertinent to the case. In attendance at this performance was a number of locals from the city, as well as various officials and public servants. One of them, a guest of the Prince Bishop, went by the name of Lord Matei Decken. He was, in turn, accompanied by a few associates, all apparently invited by the Prince Bishop, including one Serafina Madhawk. Her involvement was not clear at the time. After what was reported as a spectacular performance, Esh, his students Ezra and Solomon, were invited to the Prince Bishop's estate, where they were given a weapons demonstration. It should be of note that Solomon was not in attendance at this gathering. According to the report, he abandoned his post at the side of his teacher and went to the domicile of the one Dmitri Veit. At this time, Dmitri was an unknown to the Fold, as well as to Esh and Ezra. Solomon apparently had been given a portent. He was to go and protect Dmitri and his family. If certain things played out according to this portent, a great tragedy would be averted. Unbeknownst to him, however, this great tragedy would not end as expected. Or perhaps it did. That is for the jury to decide. This night of the 5th of March, multiple things happened at once. Esh was introduced to Lord Decken, and a few other people of note that we will discuss as the proceedings continue. Solomon was captured. Dmitri murdered. Dmitri's younger sibling, by situation, was also captured. Upon learning that his student was unaccounted for and going to investigate himself, Esh learns a rather shocking discovery. Dmitri was found alive. Mounting a quick rescue party and calling in for aid from the local Fold Priory, enter in Sena Idris, pictured here. He also carries ties to Esh, though again, these are items of irrelevance at the time, but should be noted. The rescue party goes forth, finds themselves ambushed by, I believe they deemed at the time, red coats or red cloaks. These individuals seemed suspicious, to say the least, for they contained within themselves a skill set yet unheard of by the Fold, or indeed anyone else on this planet at the time. Proving victorious, but finding neither of the boys they sought, they continued their hunt until it brought them to Hamburg, Germany, to the north. Lord Decken had given Esh a card with his address that you see displayed before you. Perhaps this Lord Decken knew more. Esh, Ezra, Senna, and the recently resurrected Dimitri decided to pay him a visit. Perhaps in a way that wasn't quite up to legal codes, but that is in the past. This Matei Decken did indeed have ties, for it was revealed that he was working with, or perhaps in control of, some of these aforementioned redcoats. The hour was quite late, and these four decided to rest. Upon waking, trying to find what indeed could be learned here in the city, the four began a quick work of exploration and revealed a few interesting things that set in motion the events that lead us to here, to this trial. A ship was found with a sigil matching that of Lord Decken, the ship named the Batavia. These redcoats were also seen entering a secret passage. No doubt that in itself is not illegal, but they pursued, and a battle was had. Under the streets of Hamburg, a deal was being made between these redcoats, Lord Decken, and one person named Count Besalanti. The Bissine boys, as well as two other victims, were being presented as a gift. But why? During this skirmish, Solomon was taken deeper into the tunnels. Lord Decken was felled, and the corpse, as you see before you, suffered a most curious affliction on his death. But his was not the only one. The redcoats present were also killed, as was Solomon. Deaths like this happen daily across this planet. Like this, and worse. Yet, this would mark a turning point in this case. A start to truly sinister crimes. Look at the list of charges. Look at the victims. Look at the guilty. This story of the hunted begins here.
All right. The four of you stand in the undergrounds of the waterways here underneath the city streets of Hamburg. The battle is fresh on your minds, as well as the outcomes. Dimitri stands with his younger brother, Ulrich, who currently, and understandably, does not leave his side. There are two other individuals here. A woman in her probably late 40s, and a young man, mid-20s at best. They too were being offered to this count that Lord Decken had spoken of. Here in this main room, you see the fallen of the redcoats, and I believe, Ezra, you had said that you were wanting to kind of go through the pockets and see if there was anything that you can find, anything of note. Go ahead and roll for me an investigation check, please.
I want money.
Okay, money.
15.
15.
Give me all your money.
You go through the pockets of some of those fallen redcoats. You find... This is going to be interesting because obviously D&D works on a bronze, gold, silver, and gold coin currency. And currently the world is kind of, each country has their own their own monies.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put, you find 75. You can just mark 75 gold because we're using that just as a standard for currency. But you find amongst the bodies, like not all in one person. This is just kind of like, 5 here, 10 here, et cetera, et cetera.
Dude, one guy was fucking loaded.
You also find or I should say on the person of Lord Decan, his body now withered and sunken. In his coats, you find a ring of keys. Amongst some of the red coats, you find a few scratched pieces of paper, most of them soaked wet. The ink now starting to run and be rubbed. The paper tearing in your hands as you pull it from the pockets. But it does seem to have some directions. You can see partial wording there, as in like X marks the spot. You can see that there is a there's not an X marks the spot, but there is a note. One of the notes does say alert the others to disappear. And then what looks like on another piece of paper that you find one address, and another piece of paper has a different address. The first address is starting to blurb a little bit, so it's kind of hard to tell. It's definitely 238 G, and then the word after that is blurred, and then after that is June. So it's going to be... I'm gonna put it in the Twitch chat real quick. 238 G dash June. And then the second piece of paper has 15 Baldwin's Garden.
I heard he killed someone.
Oh no. Awful.
So is a lack of gun safety. Anyway.
Also true.
Uh,
Also, you see that each member of the Redcoats has one coin in their pocket. It is not like a it is not like a normal like coin. This is almost like a signet coin. One side is blank, and the other side has etched in it the same signet that Lord Decan had on his wax sealer.
I've never seen a coin with just heads on it before. It's just heads and tails. This one's just... I'll pick up the coin after I see a couple different people with it, and I'm like, maybe don't add this to my gold pouch. And be like, hey, we think these are like membership tokens or something. Should we maybe hold on to these?
Do they seem magical in nature?
Do they smell magic?
Do they seem magical in nature?
You can make an Arcana check if you wish.
I
Okay.
would like to try one.
Go for it.
Well, that's another 15 now, isn't it?
Another 15. Nice.
2 11s I've rolled today.
Senna. Oh well, do you want me to roll for you? Since you're
You
driving.
just roll the dice you have in your car.
Yeah, can someone roll for me, and then I know my modifier for Arcana.
Okay. Go for it, Ezra. Roll another 11.
All right. I'm gonna roll for real. Ah! I rolled a natural 1.
Fuck, that's a 9.
All right. Well, don't roll the car. Tis not a die. Thank you, Joker, for that.
Some would say I've only rolled ones this session so far.
You
11,
could say
11, 1.
that is fair. They don't seem magical by any means. They seem like they're not even like oppressed like valuable metal. They're just like oppressed like steel or iron or something. They're kind of heavy, and heavy enough to be like if you threw this, it would definitely hurt a lot.
Yeah.
They're not like thin metal like in coins normally are. These are like these have some weight to it. It's almost like you would imagine a medal as in like medal, you know, like something that would hang from a ribbon, like that kind of a medal.
Okay. So purely for like, I am part of this group.
Hockey
And that's about
it. Yes, Iskra.
I'm really
hockey
laughing at
pucks.
the image of Ezra doing the Yukon when he's like,
The taste.
Nah.
And I use it as a thrown weapon now.
you could definitely throw this.
anything's a thrown weapon if you throw it hard enough,
Also true.
Throw the metal.
says the monk of the party. Well, I think these might be membership tokens if they match the stamp
Definitely seems like.
that Lord Dickface had. So I think maybe it'd be in our best interest to maybe carry some around if we ever want to try sneak in.
I would like to take the token's face and like etch it on paper so that it creates the mark of it in my journal.
Mhm.
If I could do that, just so I have a
for sure.
reference.
For sure.
What's
Yeah.
that called? There's a name for that.
It's like a charcoal rubbing,
Embossing.
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 No.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is that the word?
Yeah, embossing. Yeah.
Sure.
I was thinking lithograph, but that could be something else.
Yes. All of those
Oh, yeah.
things.
Emboss, stamp a design so it stands out in relief. Yeah, close enough.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Aaron, can
Yes.
I approach the other hostages?
Yes.
I will walk up in a, just fought. The person that has had an emotional moment and immediately pushed it down on top of a pile of similar things.
Mhm.
Just another layer. A little bit too good a stature for the moment. Hello there. Is everyone all right?
Yeah. The woman is the one who answers. I believe so. Yes. Thank you for coming to find us. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. You've been through something that nobody really should. So, we have time. Right now, we just probably need to get out of here, get some rest, get some food, proper drink, and we can... If you don't mind, I really do want to pick your brain, but I will not be greedy with it.
Her eyes widen a little bit.
I really want to have a discussion.
Oh.
Pardon the phrasing.
It's all right. I just those the ones that had captured us were strange and used very uncomfortable terms. I was sure they were going to. Well, it doesn't matter. Yes, anywhere but here, please.
All right. Are you a family or friends or acquaintances?
She looks over at Alaric, who's over by Dimitri, and then looks at the guy next to her. No, we all just met when we kind of came to. I don't even know where we are, honestly. Are we still in? We're still in Great Britain, yes.
No. We're in Hamburg right now.
Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that right? Are we in
Yes.
Hamburg?
yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Just
Hamburg.
Yes, because I
You s-
googled what sharks are native to Hamburg.
That's that's right. That's
sorry,
right.
but you also discussed right before the session about your hamburger, and that really just like
You are correct.
This
poked
is
in my
true.
brain
Conversation
in a
about
funny
it.
way.
This is also true.
All right, sorry.
It was a good burger.
Aaron, I'm going to do something that is a practiced maneuver, in dealing with people that are victims in some sort of way.
Mhm.
I'm
Snap
just
their
going
neck.
to, yeah, so they don't breathe anymore, and we
Oh,
don't
no.
have to do the paperwork.
Oh no.
I reach out a hand, as in like they get to decide
Mhm.
when to touch mine. I am not looking to comfort them. I'm looking for the impression of comfort. I'm
Okay.
actually looking for if they flinch, which in itself is not like accusatory,
Right.
but in that kind of like, is it a flinch of I've just been through an ordeal and touch is the last thing on my mind, or is it a flinch of the jig is up? I'm looking for illusions.
How
Oh.
traumatized
I'm looking for
are
a
these
plant.
people?
Okay. Okay. I got you.
So everything is like discerning, like, because I'm not looking for information that they can give me. I'm looking
Right.
for information of. It's like a full insight debrief,
Okay. Yeah.
because I would do it. As
Right.
she's going from like, this is my play if I was in that position.
Right. Make an insight check for me.
Okay. $25.
Dang. All right. Nice.
Yeah, this woman's actually the big bad. If you kill her now, the campaign ends.
Did I win?
There, you extend a hand, and this is like a hand as in like you're trying to like, because she's like on the ground, right? So you're trying to like offer her hand to like lift her up, kind of is the general thing.
In a sense, like that definitely helps where I was going. I thought she was on her feet, but it's more so like I'm giving you a guidance to a direction. So it's one of those like kind of grab the forearm, the other hand just kind of like gently guides, we're going that way kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
One less
Heard.
decision for you to make.
Heard. Yeah. There is a flinch. There is, as you extend a hand towards her, there is a little bit of a hesitation. You, like you said, are reading, you're good at reading people. The reaction that she gives you isn't that of a person who, or I should say, the reaction she gives you is that of a person who has just undergone a lot of stuff all at once, but then not only that, just witnessed something so completely bewildering and out of the ordinary. She looks to those who are in the room, to Dimitri, to Ezra, over to Senna. She looks like she's still trying to figure out if she can trust you. The people who had captured her and brought her to this point have all just been slain in front of her. And even though she didn't witness it really, because that black smoke had like enveloped them for most of that fight, there's still the sounds that of everything that had happened. So the gunshots, the blood, the explosions, the blasts, all of that stuff that went down in this small space in a matter of seconds. And now she is trying to determine if she is not jumping from the what's it called, from the pan into the fire,
Yeah,
sort of situation. But in that moment of hesitation, she seems to make her mind up and she reaches for your hand to allow you to guide her. Dimitri, what were you gonna say?
While she's focusing on Ash, Dimitri's gonna pull out the necklace and start looking through it just to see if they are who they say they are.
Okay. You look through the heirloom necklace that you carry around your neck, and as you focus in, and it has that weird, like, gives everything that weird color, because now that you're in this dim light, it kind of still shimmers and shines like you're looking at something through oh my gosh, a kaleidoscope glass. You know, it just kind of gives it weird colors and dimensions to it. But still in that, you see the lady, like I said, mid-40s. She's got this already graying hair that's wet and ragged around her. She looks like she's dressed in very ordinary clothes, but it's almost like, by ordinary clothes, I mean she is basically wearing like a heavy cotton, like, nightgown kind of dress that's got like a coat that doesn't look like it matches over the top of her. So it looks like, if you had to guess, this looks like a woman that was pulled out of bed and then someone gave her a coat to wrap around her body. And that's now been her attire for however long had been kidnapped.
Yeah, I'm doing it to all three of them.
Yeah. All three being including your little brother.
Mm-hmm. Just in case. Because I know how you are.
What? What does that mean?
I just had a sad moment. I was like, I thought there were 4.
Oof.
There were.
The young man, if I had to give him an attire, has boots, some rough brown, like, pants, a really dirty, sweaty, wet looking button-up shirt. There's like a bandana tied around his neck. You look at the coat that the lady is wearing. This looks like something that maybe he would have been wearing. He's got like this dirty brown hair that's now kind of they've been drugged through the waterways, right? So they're all kind of damp, wet looking. And you look down at your brother wearing the same clothes that he had been in since, yesterday, but now feels like weeks ago. All 3 of them are who they look to be on the outside of that glass, since this glass gives you true sight. She takes Esh's hand and you guide her up, and the young man stands up with her. He'd kind of been standing next to her, like he was trying to console her a little bit. Sorry, my name's Taven.
Taven, very nice to meet you. My name's Roderick. These are my friends.
Howdy.
We're kind of like a cleanup crew, if you will. We specialize in this sort of thing. I know that's a little unnerving, but it's a good thing we were here.
I don't understand how I got here exactly. I've never been across the ocean before.
You're a little more than that now.
You said we're in Germany?
Yeah, we are in Germany.
I was just in Kansas the other day.
Kansas?
Yeah.
Where's
Kansas
it?
territory.
Where's that?
Kansas territory. Me and my family were traveling out west.
Where the fuck is Kansas?
All right,
Well-
think Senna was about to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that you're not in Kansas anymore.
I thought we were gonna get through it. I
Yeah,
shouldn't have
Well,
stopped.
I had to.
I shouldn't have stopped.
Uh-huh.
I was being nice.
Every
Tony.
percent of the room.
That was amazing. Good job. Good job.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Where's the band button?
Well,
Isker said it too. Ain't Kansas anymore, Toto.
Everyone is a little discombobulated. There has
Yes.
been death here and confusion on purpose. And I know that is not where anyone wants to be. This is a trauma that will take some time to get used to, but we will not get used to it here. You both are safe. We are very good at what we do. I will say you can trust us, but that is up for you to decide. But all of our actions will reflect that.
The boy is just kind of like nodding along with everything you're saying. He's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. The lady's just like
Tea.
staring down at the ground, just going like trying to like process everything. And you can see her clutching the jacket around her and just like trying to process.
We will share information. If you would give us a great kindness of just a little bit of time to investigate what has happened here, and maybe we can prevent this happening to anyone else in Germany, in Great Britain, or in the Americas, anywhere else. Is that all right?
There's a little bit of Tavin's just like, sure, yeah, oh, whatever you need to do.
Alright.
However I can help.
Actually, Tavin, yeah, you can help me out. Actually, I'm so glad that you asked, all right? One moment. Summon
Sure.
beast, baby goat.
Huh?
I love how out of context it's just like suddenly there's a goat. And then
You
something
giving
else
the
set
kid a
up.
kid?
No, not suddenly, summon beast. I don't
Right.
know if you misheard me, but that's very funny how close those are sounding. I just
Mhm.
realized. And it's going to be like a special color, just like, just all the cool colors, just like Aurora Borealis, kind of like green, blues, purples, right? I was like, so you've seen some crazy things here, and
You
I
see
am,
both the woman and
This is-
Tavin just going like
this,
this is
this is my pet goat, Benny.
where
He's made of starlight, all right? And when he's scared, he stays here in this earth where he doesn't really belong. But if you comfort him and you warm him, he will turn into starlight in about an hour. Can you look after him for me?
Mister, I don't know where you got that goat from, but it wasn't here a minute ago.
No,
I-
it wasn't. It's the power of Benny. Could you just hold on to him for me?
I swear to God, if anybody calls this goat Benny in the jet. I think, yeah, I can do that.
You seem to
My-
be a good
my-
farmhand, strong,
Oh,
capable.
my folks we're ranchers.
Yeah, I got that impression. So, who better to trust?
Of course, I just ain't seen one made of starlight before. That's
Hey, you've seen a lot of new things, I think, on this journey, and let this be a nice version of that.
all right. Sure.
All right. And Aaron, I'm just gonna have Benny do goat things that is just like warm up to him. Just like obviously this is a distraction method,
Right, right.
Because people kind of regress into like a more kind of infantile kind of state. This is just something that is just meant to be comfort.
Sure.
And I'm going to make a like very pointed. I don't like the term, but it is like a glare. like directly into Cinna's eyes,
Mhm.
as in time to go to work kind of thing. And there will be a telepathic message that is, get everything you can, keep it dry, rendezvous soon. We'll figure this out. No mistakes.
Soggy bottoms. I don't think I
Understood.
got my earpiece back, so I don't know. I think I missed that. I'm just.
Now this was like kind of specific apart from the spice
Yeah.
murmur kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
But that is good to remember.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
saying so.
Dimitri has it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, now it's permanently installed.
Yeah, because she slammed into the side of his head.
I think it's integrated into a system.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
I'm never getting that back. If I pull it out, it's gonna take a chunk of his brain matter with it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so,
Just now it's like grab everything in retrieval, using prestidigitation and any sort of like just small amount of magic to, at the very least, stop dripping ink, keep it from making it worse, keeping things separate, bagging what we can, and if I may, I didn't want to interrupt Ezra's. Sorry, so many names, including place names, just went through my head, and Space Jam for some reason.
My brain is still on Penny! Penny and the Jet!
I want to do an investigation, but it is a specific one. It is
Okay.
not surface level. It is from a perspective of a guy who has made a more than a career, a survivability over disguising themselves.
Mhm.
So there is a need to have a particular tailor to be let into places, to know where secret compartments and pockets, where this is for the first level of secret society people, and here is for communicate with deeper secret society other members. Because the count, I think that you said maybe we probably don't know officially. So I'll say like the big spooky guy
Yeah.
was there. So I feel like there is a level of particulars that came into play that might have been transacted, or they might still be on their person.
Okay.
So that's what I'm looking for.
In regards to like, Deccan's body, or just in general with the others?
I don't like to say in general in this particular case.
Yeah.
So I think it would be Deccan's body.
Okay.
He's all withered, right? Like he
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
withered immediately, and we
Yeah,
don't know
no.
why.
Correct.
Okay, I feel like that's a Cinna question.
On his death, his body immediately desiccated, into itself. Almost.
Well, yeah, I
want
heard they
to-
do that because once they did, the body expels everything.
Normally, when that happens, it's excrement. In this case, this is a strange phenomenon I've never seen before, except
What
for
is it? Defecate.
Desiccate.
That's what he said. Defecate.
well, my young student. That's not my student, but defecate.
Oh no, the
Versus-
teachers are gonna fight over me.
This.
Oh no.
I will search
Okay.
the desiccated.
Defecated.
Yeah.
And defecated.
Yeah. There wasn't actually. There is no poo smell. Damn. Ash, go ahead and roll investigation.
Not the defecated.
Roll a defecation check.
Necrotic damage just makes you poop.
Yeah, it's like drinking too much coffee.
Oh wow.
It lowers your maximum hit points and makes you
Aaron, I'm really sorry. I'm also going to take his stomach.
Oh.
Ooh.
You're
You're
gonna
going
what?
to check his stomach?
I'm gonna take it.
Oh,
Take it. All right, cool.
Take it where? To the stomach store?
I don't know if I can stomach this.
What
You'll have to take it.
biohazard
Oh,
are
30.
you looking for?
30?
What?
3-0? Holy
God
Toledo.
level stomach retrieval.
16 plus 14.
Nice.
Wow.
You bring this man back to life.
And then kill him again. Okay. You search the body. Ezra had already found most of the things that were in his pockets. There's not really much of anything
Yeah.
in there.
Honestly, it probably gave me like a nice ride to just not worry about that stuff.
Right. Checking, I would say with this investigation, you're also checking the body because, like Senna had said, normally when a body dies, it does not immediately dry up. That takes time, a long time. This happened moments after his death. That's weird.
I always said he was a flaky
And-
guy, and look.
And we'll say that because when he perished in the water. Like he was in the process of running out into the tunnel system whenever you guys had taken him out. So I would imagine that in the searching, you did not leave his body in the water. You pulled it up onto the dock or the planking that was like surrounding this waterway. Even in his body having been in the water, there are no liquids within him.
Mm.
It is as if every liquid inside had immediately dried up. His body is hard. You can move like the arm or whatever if you need to, but it crackles and breaks the skin as you do so. Removing any sort of internal organ is less slice and dig through organs as it is cracking the dried skin on his stomach. And
Can I ask a follow-up question, by the way?
Sure.
Break off an arm. Are the bones like have osteoporosis? Are they like older bones than they should be?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, at least not as, not noticeably.
Okay.
Not anything that you probably would have picked up on. But everything on the inside is dehydrated. We're talking like this guy turned into instant jerky within 5 to 10 seconds after he died, which is not, again, normal. Senna, what are you going to say?
Senna would like to take a sample of his skin, but also speaking
Why?
in doing that with Hunter. In doing that with Ash, you don't suppose this has anything to do with the blood hunters that we encountered in the forest? If they have the power to boil blood, why not say that, this is some kind of side effect to their death? They've made a pact with blood, perhaps? Or there's some greater entity that has punished them for failing.
Your
Perhaps-
grand question, yes.
Hmm.
I think it does have something to do with the blood. I do not know how they intend to manipulate it. If the boiling is a weaponization and a punishment, I do not know. This is not my area of expertise, but it is too coincidental to be comfortable.
Lord Durkin had said that he was a part of which cult?
The cult.
The cult. Just the cult. And was this separate from the Brotherhood of Blood? I would assume they're one and the same.
I would like to believe there is some sort of overlap.
Hmm.
Maybe it's trouble with marketing.
And with that, Dimitri's gonna get all the hostages and start walking out.
Yeah, they need a better marketing department in this cult. We
I-
redcoats. If they call themselves redcoats, then the Americans might get the wrong idea. You know.
True. Time to remarket their names.
Next time
I
we
think
see them, we should
Bloodhunter
ask.
sounds really cool, but
Uh,
Combat we're in. We're like, you guys need a better name. They're like, huh?
Aaron, if you don't mind, I just want to confirm there was no like extra secret compartments in anything he was wearing or any like crazy Yakuza like tattoos hidden where nobody would normally see them under the 30 garments that they would wear at the time.
He got tattoos so the
Right.
sun don't shine.
did he
Ah.
cast Spider Walk, or were those his shoes?
Boots of spider climb.
Oh yeah, Spider Climb. Yeah, sorry.
I throw
Uh,
his boots at the wall. Do they stick?
You know
No,
what? Might
they-
as well. Let's throw detect
Mhm.
magic just kind of on the fire. Just
Okay.
and for the particular setting that we're in, you know, like if I could see remnants of magic where he walked from to get on the wall. Did he walk just from down, or did he walk from like somewhere else that we're not seeing?
Okay. I'll say as best as you can, you try and peel back the layers of clothing that he is wearing. And right where just above the abdomen and like right where the ribs kind of meet right here, there is a circular sigil that is seared into his skin that is hard to notice because of how dried and desiccated it is now. But with that, like searching for some sort of sign, there is a sigil that is on his chest, like right about there. And it is the same symbol that you see on the coins. But this is a searing of like branding, like a hot iron brand that was done on his chest.
Okay. With the dagger and prestidigitation as a means of rehydrating, I'm going to cut that symbol out with my back to the hostages so they don't see.
Right.
And I will deliver
That's fine. They're on the opposite side of the room.
Okay. You never know.
Yeah.
I'll deliver that to Senna and go, you wanted a piece of skin. It has a picture with it.
Oh, that is perfect. How did you rehydrate it?
Darling, I'm me.
Yeah, you're right.
It's really not that hard. I've done it to corpses before, so they look better buried.
Just the face, and then just put the suit on, and everything else can be desiccated.
Some of them couldn't afford a suit, love.
Ah,
It's amazing where we
Some people return to this
Find
earth
in common.
the same way they came into it.
defecated.
God damn it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what is happening? Okay.
All right. I'm going to...
What's the line? They never tell you how they shit themselves.
I'm gonna see Dimitri doing the good thing and making a line to the exit with the hostages, and kind of give that like
I'm assuming
Not-
you. Go ahead.
Hmm?
Finish. No. Finish that.
nod to leave.
Dimitri, are you going out? There's as of right now, there are 2 exits that you know of. One, the way you guys came in. 2, the way the guy left
Solomon's.
was Solomon, and Solomon's body is in that direction.
I'm going the way we know.
Okay.
Well, the way I know.
Right.
How are we getting Solomon out of here?
Oh, I thought he was kind of there. That makes sense because the hostages are right there. I will go get Solomon. So my nod is essentially like, I'm gonna go wrap this guy up in whatever fabric I can find, if it's those guys' coats, whatever. As to a little bit of proper rights kind of thing, but also mostly don't get attention.
I think Ezra will offer his coat that he's been wearing.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I'd rather you not be wrapped in the red coats. It's disrespectful.
It's a good point. All right.
Dimitri.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on.
Yes, Moon Mother.
You, goddamn. You reach the doorway as you are about to go into the tunnels, and Alaric tugs on your coat, on your shirt. It's like, wait, we can't leave yet. Where's Solomon?
I think the others have him.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm trying not to like make eye contact with him because I know.
Buddy, you gotta tell him. you gotta tell him.
He was the one that was telling me to be brave, that you guys were going to find us.
And he was right.
It was. I'm glad that we met him at the circus. If those guys had come to the house and Solomon had not been there and gone and come with us or got taken with me, then I don't know what I would have done. Can I wait for him?
You can wait for him outside, where it's safer.
Okay. And he looks back in the direction where he saw Esh and disappear on the other side of the room. And he looks up. He's like, I hope that one day I'm as brave as Solomon is. You think I can do that?
Oh, of course, buddy.
I'm going to do it. He like grabs onto your hand, which is not usual for him. He's as being a boy of like 12, 13-ish, like he's approaching that stage of where maybe a little bit of the physical affection isn't as shown as much because he's trying to be his own man now, but he's gone through an ordeal. And now having a family member here in this strange environment, in the city he's never been to, seeing things that he has honestly no explanation for, and you know he's going to have 1,000 questions at some point. He holds your hand and squeezes it tight. And you follow the tunnels back the passageway that you guys had come. As you pass some of the redcoats that you had slain on the way in, you see him kind of like shy away from them and kind of hide behind your body as you guys walk past them. Compared to the older woman who averts her eyes, and then Tavin, who, when he passes by one of them, spits.
Correct answer.
You guys walk down the tunnel and back up to the passageway.
Benny also spits.
I was like, who? Oh, yes, the goat. I forgot. Oh my gosh. You get to the top of the stairs. As you climb the stairs, there is one particular piece that has a giant hole in it that wasn't there before. That's curious. But you guys carefully step over this rotted broken step. It looks like someone had fallen through it, but that was weird. You know, whatever.
Who could that have been?
You get to the street, well, the alleyway. And Dimitri, as you open the door, I'm assuming are probably one of the first ones out, you check left and right to see if it is clear. And there you turn to the left, the alleyway that leads out to the city street. There's a giant fluffy cat that sits on a garbage pail and just with the black fur, kind of really fuzzy Maine Coonish kind of hair, just stands and looks at you imperiously, as cats do. Just slow blinks its dazzling green and yellow eyes. Alaric's like, oh, a cat.
You should go play with it while I wait for the others.
He's like, he gets down on his knees he looks like he's suddenly 6 years old again as he gets down on his, he's like, he tries to get the cat to come over to it.
The cat stands on its hind legs and goes, "Do not disrespect me."
How dare you use the pss, pss, pss on me?
It's a tabaxi.
You see the woman leans over to you. You're quite good at speaking. I haven't met too many people who could speak such fluent English and fluent German without any accent.
What can I say? I'm a fast learner.
My name is Sasha, by the way.
Dimitri.
Pleasure, I think. Your companions are a curious lot.
Tell me about it. I just recently met them.
Oh? She kind of leans
They're
in.
pretty good people to be around.
Was hoping you would say something like that. I've had my fill of strangers, I feel. Been lucky to have such good, if mixed, company. She kind of looks over at Tavin, and Tavin's just standing off to the side a little bit, watching Alaric with the cat. Do you know why they took us?
That I do not know.
You continue to wait for Esh, Ezra, and Senna. Ezra, you said you were going to help wrap up Solomon's body in your coat. We'll say that they're in one of the crates that's down here. There's some foul-ish blankets. They look like they've just been stored here for a long time. So not quite moldy, but they've definitely been in this crate for goodness knows how long. Senna, we're gonna say.
Is an opportunity here, Ash, to make a young boy feel a little less alone in this world when he finds out that his friend is gone. And he pulls out, I had one more of the alter self potions. I don't think I would do a good enough job of it.
Cinna. Pupils dilate. Like someone seeing through you. They're not looking at you, maybe just your direction. You have always been a flirt. But you are flirting between cruelty and kindness.
Doesn't need to know.
They always need to know.
But the friend that was sitting next to him this whole time is dead. Throat ripped out. And he's here standing. Fine. Solomon was going to go back eventually anyway. He would have been stationed to some other place. Why not just give him a farewell?
You can dress it up as much as you like. Give it some blush, some lipstick, a nice gown or tuxedo. But it is still a lie. You give the truth, or you give nothing at all. Hey, Cinna. Friend. I do not understand your loss in this moment. And I am here to talk about it at length. An offer I do not make everyone. But we cannot, should not, ever decide how others react, how they grieve, how they mourn, how they calcify, how they cauterize, how they heal. You're making all those decisions in a single potion, a single request. It will define him. Maybe in a small way, maybe in a big one. How he makes friendships, how he loves, who he trusts. Does he sleep? What shifts of work he takes? That is the power of a lie. That is the power of friendship. That is the compromise we all make. And you are above all things. And you are many things. Kind. Do not fail this decision.
I suppose I just didn't want to see another kid lose a loved one.
Then it seems like it's not about Ulrich, is it?
No, it's not.
Would you have preferred a potion?
Senna, your mind goes back to the last time you saw your father. And knowing that Esh was one of the last people to have seen him alive.
No. I wouldn't have preferred a potion. You're right, Ash. Lapse of judgment.
No. Just a heart expanding.
You wrap up Solomon's body and make the trek out of the space. There's a moment as Esh walks down the alley, the hall, the tube, the tunnel, with Ezra following. Senna, you look out the open grate, not far from where Solomon was at, and out across the bay here in Hamburg. And then you turn and you follow Esh.
We're going to find you, you monster. You can hide as much as you. We will find you.
Trekking back through the waterways and up the stairway that goes back to that secret door that leads to the alleyway. What do you do, Ash, once you get to the surface?
I think there are various protocols that I feel do overlap. I think there's a lot of technical training in the fold, scenario A through,
No.
like into like Greek letters,
Mhm.
Zeta, that's the one I wanted. And so you're going to have to help me in if there are safe houses available, or if it's one of those things of looking as much as a regular public as possible. I can't remember. I know we stayed at an inn, but I don't know how long we paid for.
It's kind of by the night thing, so you're...
Is an inn gonna let us take a body?
It was a little old lady, I'm sure,
Yeah, it'd be one of those kind of like no-tell motel situations of like, like there's some really unscrupulous people. We're near the docks, so that's not exactly a hard ask.
Here's my thoughts on it anyway.
Sure.
Early 1800s. Death happens a lot.
Yeah.
And quickly. Sometimes there's explanations, sometimes there's not. But it is not, I would say, I think we now have more of a sense of, oh my gosh, than perhaps they did at the time. Yeah, because it could have been an accident. It could have been anything. And there's not like, we were talking, I think Iskra mentioned something in chat earlier about like forensics is like very much not a thing, right? It's even in an organization like the Fold, there's stuff you can do, but there's still like, sometimes the truth is better than a lie. And while maybe you're not going to go and tell anybody this person was kidnapped and they were killed before we got them back, but you had been looking for someone and you found them too late, would not be too far-fetched. People, and like you said, particularly around the docks, things happen. So is there a safe house in Hamburg? Probably, but I feel like it's more of a, not necessarily an equipment shed, but less of a place for you to take these survivors, these people. Because by all intents and purposes, they also are not know nothing of what's going on at the moment.
Right.
So,
Okay. Couple quick questions.
Yep.
How far is the Black Forest Priory? I believe would be the closest one. Just an
Mhm.
estimation.
I think it's over 100 miles.
Okay.
Which-
Ash does want to debrief them, but I'm not
Mhm.
going to further traumatize them by a very arduous journey.
How late is it?
It's like
Isn't it like
10:30 or
night?
11. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the first thing is just rest. And I will say just out of the public eye as much as possible. If we can do like outskirts of town, for like travelers that just hit, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But we do know that within the machinations of the city proper,
Mhm.
this dangerous stuff was going on. So I don't know how much more is. So give us a little bit of space. But the priority is going to be on rest and making sure we are not encroached upon for at least the next 24 hours.
That can definitely be arranged.
Great.
I feel like I could use a bit of sway if I can try something. I am or was a plague doctor by trade.
All right.
It
So-
could be easily spun that Solomon is simply one of my less fortunate patients and would allow us the privacy of a sort of quarantine. Get us a room at the inn, ask not to be bothered while we mourn our friend, but also make sure that we don't spread anything to a wider public. I have the. Well, like he just kind of holds up his mask. I have the closest thing to credentials.
All right.
Aha! Yes. A professional places his mask.
Friend. Give a wink, as in like I didn't use my real name wink. You will take the lead, and you will let me know how best to back you up. I can be whatever you need.
Understood.
All right.
I think I can sweet talk that old lady back at the inn. Or do we want to try a different one?
Up to you. Where would you go, Plague Doctor?
Well, I mean, I'd be cold. So at this point, it's truly up to where kind of accommodations do we want to stay at? Do we want something on the further outskirts of the city so we can easily leave, or something close by to rest now? I'll leave.
Outskirts.
I don't want to. Yeah. All right. If we could find an inn a little farther away from town.
Getting up to the alley as you're gonna start your walk through the city. Alric sees Esh carrying a body. And though he had been holding on to his little new black cat friend, who had snuggled up onto his lap as he sat there up against the wall, you see him look from Esh to Dimitri, back to Esh, and then to each individual person that walked out, and like looks at the door that now closes back onto the secret wall.
I
Wait,
think Ezra's put his plague doctor mask on to mask certain emotions that he may be outwardly feeling from Ulrich.
wait. Dimitri? Wait, where's Solomon? Dimitri? Where's...
I'm gonna Put my hand on his shoulder.
Wait. No.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But he said he was going to be alright. He said for me to be brave. You said that they were going to get him. You didn't say that they were going to. He gets up, like cat be damned, falls out of his lap, and like takes a step towards Esh. His eyes landing on the blonde hair that's kind of sticking out from the top of the coat. No. He was my friend.
How tall is this kid?
He's like 5 foot.
I just need to know if I have to get down on his level. I think Ezra's gonna take a minute to like look at Dimitri and be like, "Listen, he's your brother. Do you wanna, or I'll talk to him." You know, just like give him like that look. Awesome.
Go for it. I hate giving bad news, even in IRL. So
Yeah.
I fucking hated it.
Oh God. This never gets any easier. I think I'm not that much taller than him, but I'll kind of like get down a little bit more onto his level, maybe in a sort of kneeling position. I'll take the Plague Doctor mask, pull it down off my face, and be like, "Listen, I know this is hard, and that Solomon, he meant a lot. He kept you safe. He kept your hope high. And that's good. And we are very proud of him, but Solomon was kind of like a knight. And knights, they work very hard to protect people, the innocent and those they care about. And I can say that Solomon, he cared very much for you, that you were found safely. I know it hurts. And that's a hurt that you're going to feel for a long time. And I can tell you that that hurt will always be in there a little bit, but you should know that Solomon would just be happy that you're all right. I don't want you thinking this is your fault or anything. 'Cause it's not. This is the fault of bad men. And women. Mostly men. This is the fault of a group of bad people who want to do nothing but hurt good people. And Solomon and you and everyone here, you are good people. He's gone, but he won't be forgotten. Not while you're here, not while I'm here. Go ahead.
He just shakes his head. I won't forget him.
It He's pretty hard to forget. He's, I don't think I could if I tried, right?
No,
Very special little lad.
you're Ezra, right?
Yeah. I knew him decently. We were
He-
classmates.
He talked a lot about you.
All bad things, I presume.
He said you were very smart and that you had seen a lot of things.
I have.
And he said that one day when he grew up as old as you are, which I don't think is very much, he was going to be as brave. Because he said you were very brave. He also said you were a teacher's favorite. And he
Oh.
knew that.
I think Ezra is really trying not to cry in front of this child. And he goes, well, I'm smart enough to know one thing. And that is that Solomon was already twice as brave and twice the person I could ever dream of being.
I'm going to be brave like Solomon. I want to be a knight like Solomon. So that bad people don't do these things.
Hang on. I need to check something right now. Okay. Well, I think you will make a fine knight. And then Ezra's going to reach into the pocket of his pants, as he no longer has a coat. And he's going to pull out a deck of playing cards. And he's
The
gonna be
razor
like,
sharp.
and then I power them like Gambit, and I go, he's gonna pull out a deck of playing cards out of his pocket that they look very weathered and old and used, but loved. And they're like, there's no case. They're kind of bound with like a rubber band or twine or whatever. I had someone I used to look up to a lot. Like you with Solomon. Someone very brave, who stood for good things and fought bad people. And I told him something very similar. I told him, when I grow up, I'm going to be a knight, just like you. And he gave me this. And I'm gonna hand it to Alric. Like, and now I will give it to you. A gift passed from one of the bravest, strongest men I knew to me, and now to someone who was a very dear friend of mine. Also saw as a very dear friend. You carry these with you. And always remember to be strong.
He wipes the tears from his eyes. Takes the the gift into his hands and looks down to it and then like clutches it like super tight. Goes
I'm
over.
gonna give him a hug.
He like leans into you. And when the hug is done, he goes over to Esh and puts a hand on Solomon's covered head and like gives it one little pat. Then looks up at Esh and just nods. Turns around, goes over to Dimitri, grabs his arm, and like buries his face into his chest and cries. And the bunch of you walk out, solemn but resolute, to find a place where you can process, rest, and recover. And that is where we're going to go to break. Very nice.
Just like they broke Solomon's neck.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, that was amazing. All right,
Good job, guys. Go team.
we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back.
We learned a lot about autopsies on the break.
Autopsies, rubber bands, and Autobots, and it was irrational fear of sharking pools. But you know,
I was
Sounds like
gonna say
you're-
it's not irrational, but it's very irrational.
It's like a list of things to activate a Russian agent, you know?
rubber band, shark
Great
and
white
pool.
in the pool.
Great white. That's it. That's it. Okay. You make your way through the streets here at night on the outskirts of. That's been a while. On the outskirts of Hamburg, kind of going up along the edges there. Oh, wait a second, hold on. I do have somewhere.
Why is that music so
Okay, I'm going to put both in our group chat and also, this is not the one that I didn't mark it. Oh no, I did. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in here because I now have a colorized map of the city. And then if you're in our Discord, which, you know, if you're not in our
Should be.
Discord, yeah, you should be.
Oh, right, the colored map.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that.
Oh my god, I can read it.
And you can read it. And put that in campaign art and drop that in there too. Okay. If you open up the map, you will see there is the blue dot is where you guys were staying at the Three Stag Inn. The green little like T shape there by 10 is where the ship was, and by extension, like that area where you found the hidden passageway. The blue X just above that marks the blue X marks the spot where Lord Deccan's house is, and we'll say that probably going somewhere on the, what would this be? The flowers. So it's sort of the east of the city. As you're like walking along that path up to like the 54 area or so. Do you want to stay within the city proper or like try and find somewhere on outside? Because outside the city, there's just gonna be like farmland. Or just
Well, I suppose
stay.
an inn would be easiest inside the city, but maybe we'll stay at a different one.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay. Let's see. We'll
Old Michael? Who's Michael?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And why is he old?
That's where old Michael is. Don't ask me. I don't know.
Ooh.
We'll say that over by 52 on that far side of the city, where it says is Sebastian Bastion over the Sebastian Bastion, on that side of town.
Bastion.
We will find you a place to stay. Where you can. There is a. It'll be a little pricier because the cheaper places are kind of closer to the docks because, you know, cheaper. They're a little less nice there. But for about 10 gold, we'll say 10 gold a night, you can find a place, an extra 5 gold. No questions asked.
Yeah, well, we just stole all the money off those guys' corpses, so we can pay that.
Yeah,
That's true.
true.
10 gold a night for all of us? Or 10 each?
10 for the room. For per room.
Per room. Okay.
Yeah.
How many people can we fit in a room?
All of us.
I mean, you could definitely all fit in one room.
Well,
There
I was
are
thinking because we have us and then we have the recently
Three
liberated
more.
hostage.
3 more. It's you 4 and 3 more. So,
Are we paid
And a
well
body.
for our jobs?
I mean,
Well, I have
You-
100 gold on my person right now, so.
and you just
I'm an
got-
orphan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. I heard they don't pay well for that one.
I mean,
I have my allowance money, but that's about it.
no.
Yeah, but your mothers are gone. Who's giving you an allowance?
I know.
You spent your savings going to the circus, and look how that turned out.
So-
A man is dead.
Um.
I'll
But
pay
I-
for the rooms.
Okay.
We could do a room
This-
us and a room for the not for the hostages. They're not hostages anymore, but that's
Yeah,
the best way to
the
refer
rest-
to them.
The rescued victims.
The
What about the
recent-
The
animal?
rescued.
Benny,
Oh yeah, the Benny.
sleeps with the hostages.
Benny
Yeah,
turned
Benny's
into
a comfort goat.
Starlight, Right.
Benny's a comfort goat.
Yeah, I don't think
Aaron, you will let me know when an hour has passed since I introduced Benny.
Well,
probably been an hour.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say by the time we're gonna,
So-
it's gonna be one of the. This is beautiful. I love this visual. You get to the hallway with your rooms, and this like on the 3rd floor of this place, the Chalice's Bounty. You get to this 3rd floor, and as you guys are climbing up the steps, and already the innkeeper, whose name is Ada. That makes sense. Ada's already given you like the what is happening because there's a goat that's coming in, and that's partially covered by the 5 extra for the no questions asked. But she does say that you will be paying for any damages that are incurred by that goat. But you get up the stairs, and
Don't worry, the goat won't be staying long.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Aaron, I have a
Uh,
quick question.
Yes.
I'm really sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
It's also getting hard to like keep my eyes open because I have occipital headache.
Yeah.
How many modified memories do I get a day? Is it like 5 a day?
5 a day.
I'm gonna use it on the innkeeper
Okay.
after we check in. Just summarizing.
Okay.
I kind of thumbed this river rock, like the lowest hum, you know,
Mhm.
almost where you think you can hear an elephant kind of thing, where they have that like low vibrational quality.
Yeah.
I'm going to modify who checked in to be again, I gotta be specific. And there's a word that I want that I'm not getting. Basically like a royal, a couple down, you know, like thinks of themselves as a little bit too important, but still is kind of important. But is there trying to keep low key. The main thing being security and anonymity is important. Do not let anybody on that floor, kind of thing, or we'll shut the shit down.
Okay. There's definitely a little bit of the sure, yeah, of course. And then you see her eyes glaze over as the new memory sets in, and you elaborate. Tavin and Sasha have just been kind of watching everything that's happening, but don't say anything. You guys walk up to the up the flight of stairs, and as you're walking into the hallway to the rooms with your keys in hand, you hear Tavin go, "What the hell?" And you turn around just in time to see Benny go into starlight.
Oh, Tavin.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god, I'm sorry. I don't know. I only put him down for a moment.
Nope.
I swear I didn't mean to.
What did I say at the
you
top?
put him down?
That's not what I meant. No, not like that. I'm so.
His name was Old Yeller.
He's such a
Jesus, guys.
Old Benny.
Old Benny.
Benny could only return to the stars if you gave him proper warmth and comfort. That is what I asked of you, and he is Starlight now. You did me a good service.
You see Sasha go, just like in shock, just like, I think I need to sit down.
Yeah, well, we're going to be at the room.
You just like quickly unlock the door. Oh god.
If he passes out the hallway, I'm leaving him here. I've carried enough bodies today.
Beautiful. You unlock the door, open it. We'll say that you go into Senna, you open the one for that your guys are gonna work in for now. And Ezra, you open the one next to it that's going to be for the
Everyone else.
liberated hostages. I love that. Liberated, yeah.
Starlight, star bright. Benny was hugged tight. Oh.
You guys go into those rooms. You see Sasha just goes and sits in the corner chair and just like sits down, like flattens out her dress that's like all dirty. She goes, "Would it be very improper if I took a bath?" She looks herself.
Yeah, I don't see why not. We're not going to stop you from bathing.
Okay.
You don't have to ask us permission.
She takes off the jacket and gives it over to Tavin and says, "Thank you." It's like, yes, ma'am, of course. She goes over to the washroom to start her bath.
Get it, queen.
So, Alric has been obviously by Dimitri's side the whole time and has not like left, but also in one hand has like Dimitri's hand, the other hand is holding on to that deck of cards.
Dimitri, I assume you prefer to stay in a room with your brother tonight?
Yeah, I think that'll be best. Seeing how, yeah.
He won't let go of my hand.
He's like, does this, and then Alric's just shaking on the other end of it.
It's just like one of those grips where he's just like, oh. Let go, please. My hand.
My hand's numb.
Alric does. I mean, he will like eventually let go and just like nod to Ezra, like that's right. He's gonna stay with me. Like leans into him, like don't leave me again.
No one will be questioning that, Ulrich. I absolutely understand.
Once the rescued are settled for the time being, Ezra, Senna, Esh go back over to the other room. Dimitri, do you join them or do you stay with your brother for the time being?
Just for the time being. I'll join in later.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still got my Spice Murmur jammed about 6 inches deep in his head. He could zoom in. We could add him to the Discord call.
It's fair. All right, you guys go back over to the other room. You set the body of Solomon down on one of the beds. And take a deep breath.
Aaron,
Yes.
I will lay the body of Solomon down, and I will use disguise self to make myself look like a royal guard of Germany.
Okay.
Not in proper military, but some denotion of station. And I will go to the front desk.
Ada looks up at you like, oh, is everything all right?
I cannot do a German accent, so I'm
That's
just
fine.
going to talk like Ash.
That's fine.
But it is implied.
You
Yes.
just sound angry all the time. That's it.
Very angry. Very.
Is everything all right?
I think I'm going to be fired.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
She wanted to be one with the people. And I forgot casual attire. I brought the best. I'm a fool. A schmuck. My father was right. I don't suppose you have normal people clothes here?
She like, well, I suppose maybe there might be something in the lost and found. I can see if I can find anything that was left behind by others.
I think a bit of royal credit could be rolling your way if we got more of the found than the lost.
Of course. Yes.
Oh,
I'll see what I can do, and I will take it up to your room. You in the first or the second one?
I will say whichever one the hostages were in, and I will give instructions to just do a polite, like, double knock and leave it in front.
Sure.
Thank you so
Men's,
much.
are you wanting clothes for you or for her?
We need woman's, men's, child's,
So whatever I can find.
everything.
I might be able to procure something from my sister's house.
She loves options.
My nephew's growing fast. So I'm sure that they've got something that doesn't fit them anymore.
Wunderbar.
I shall make this of utmost importance.
You have saved my job, and therefore saved Germany.
Can't even fucking take you serious right now. I love you so much.
You've provided Dobby socks, and thus Germany is saved.
Same exact vibe.
Oh my god. Okay. Yes. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Thanks to this act, nothing bad will ever happen in Germany again.
Oh, no.
21.
21. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, you go back up the stairs. There's like
I'm going to let them know beforehand because they're traumatized.
Yeah. You hear 2 knocks. You can hear her already talking to one of the maids, like, go down to the cellar, fetch whatever clothes that was left behind from the rooms. You can hear like the further instructions. You go back up the stairs into the room. All right. What are you guys doing?
All right. I am in charge. My name is Esh. I am your teacher. Do not lie to me. How are you feeling?
Oh God, I thought you were gonna ask me like something way worse. I thought I was in trouble.
What's worse than that question?
I thought I was in trouble.
You're always in trouble.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no.
No,
Um,
Charlie!
I don't know. I suppose Is it wrong to say I've gotten a little accustomed to loss?
It's the best and worst thing that you can be.
It hurts. It stings. But I've already lost a mother and a brother and many close friends before, so it's just a sting on an old wound, you know?
Are
I
you
can say
lying
with-
to me?
No, I can say with certainty that I'm accustomed to grief. As a doctor, you see a lot of death, and I've seen a lot of people I care about die. And while it hurts to see Solomon laying there like that, I will feel better getting back out there and taking care of the people that did this.
All right. I like your ending perspective there, but I do warn you. When loss is mitigated, when it gets easy, you really need to check yourself. Should never be easier. Maybe you found a place to put it, but it's always temporary.
I'll keep that in mind.
Good.
Thank you, Joker. What about you?
Oh. I have my pockets and pouches.
What'd you say? I didn't hear it.
I have my pockets and pouches.
Got it. Got it.
Dimitri, you really showed up today. A bit furrier than I remember.
Yeah. I saw Ezra in trouble, so I figured best time to show you all what I can really do.
Well, that does answer the follow-up question if you knew that could happen. And you did. And I bet it was a very close secret.
The only ones who really know are just the family.
You exposed yourself. Don't do that. For my student. And we are in the
Ezra not having a spice member is only hearing half of this conversation. Just
Oh, I'm saying it out loud, fully.
oh, okay.
Yeah. This is
Well,
just
no,
like kind of
because
like
I
full
can't
down.
hear Dimitri if he's in the other room, right?
I figure he's in this
Oh,
room.
yeah,
with
I-
me.
I'm probably in there by now, so
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. Never
I
mind.
apologize
Then.
if I
I got my
assumed
hand
incorrectly.
back. I got my
I-
hand back.
I fully assumed that this conversation was happening with a wall between, and I was only
Oh,
hearing
no.
Ash, and I was
Sorry.
like, "What the fuck?"
That is very funny. But no, I apologize for assuming incorrectly there.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We are in the business of very particular secrets, disguise, deception, insightful planning, maneuvering around the obvious and the perceived. And you did something very brave for Ezra. And you have my deepest respect for that. So thank you very much, Dimitri. When you want to talk about what exactly the fuck that was, then we can. But for right now, more urgent matters. And if you got a handle on it, which it seems like you do, I will trust that. Cinna. Solomon was your god, brother. We already went over how not to lie. And I expect the same from you to me and me to you. I know you are not well, but I need to know if you can continue.
I need to deliver the news to his mother in person.
All right. When would you go?
When we get back, likely back to the Priory.
All right. It's a hard job. For sure. For now, we have a body of one of our own, some dried skin, and a lot of questions.
And don't forget the AA coins.
Once I can get back to my lab,
Like, what's
I want to
AA?
examine the skin and see what I can find. What strange spell this was, or reaction that Lord Decken had within him. I'll let you know.
Good. The best we can assume is that they have some sort of dominion over blood. And they use that for various intricacies that we are not privy to. And if that relates to the war, or the war profiteers, perhaps they were up in arms, no pun intended, about some sort of new weapon, according to insights from my sister, Lord Decken, and the journals. And this seems like a very likely candidate. The notes that we found speak to a scattering of these individuals. How far they scatter is curious, and I'm sure we will know more in the future, but we do have a couple incomplete addresses.
We also have the book that belonged to that one hunter. I'm sure that will continue to reveal itself.
That we do. And if I recall, there were locations in the book.
Yes.
Were they labeled, DM?
Drawings. Right?
No. The sketches you're referring to, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
No, they weren't. They were just kind of like one page had the one. It honestly looked like someone who was just like on a sketchbook was like drawing out these little things, but
There's a lot of loose hanging fruit, seems a lot nicer than what it is. Probably just shit.
jackfruit.
Jackfruits.
I ate that jackfruit. It is good.
Durian.
Durian. Durian's a shit fruit. To me at least. I
I knew a guy named Dorian in the war.
Alright, so there are some primal individuals that are being hired, and we've seen what Dimitri can do, so we can readily assume that they can probably do something similar, along with the bones and scraped meat out by the campgrounds, and our missing scouts to the south.
I was about to say, now that we've found what we're looking for, we need to think about the fact that this group might potentially be powerful enough to take out an entire airship full of Orphics.
A lot of things could have happened. They could have been shot down for sure. I feel like maybe we would have seen the smoke or heard something, but they did go pretty far. We haven't heard anybody mention anything, which again could have been too far, so nothing really there. But more likely that they probably got flagged down or saw something curious or other things that we are not privy to with all of these various curiosities. And I suspect we are going to get a bunch more before they start making sense. But for right now, we have Solomon's body. Senna, with your expertise, and Ezra, with your experience, is there anything that we can discern from the body? He was not himself at the end.
Notice the
Is that-
glaze.
Is there any sort of check I can do?
You do a medicine check. I mean, you've done enough. You said you do have a little bit of a very basic medicinal knowledge from your plague doctor days, so you can at least do something, in that regard.
22.
Me too. And then, Senna, what were you gonna say?
There was a glaze in his eyes when he rebelled in that last moment before he went off into the sewers.
He did pause. He did try to dispel jam, some sort of magical interference. It seemed to have worked to a degree, which means that I did not do a good enough job, which is unlikely. Or whoever did it to him was very powerful. And I think Solomon himself was powerful enough to make the connection internally. Now, if it changed something physically, I'm relying on Ezra for that.
22.
Senna, are you gonna do any investigating also?
I want to do an investigation to see if I could make the connection that if these people can boil blood and do internal damage could they perhaps charm a person?
Okay.
If you find it fitting, DM, I
Yeah.
would like to help Senna, but only if my dispelling could be
Physically
a little bit
manifest.
laxer. No, like I don't want to say pinpointed because I think that's too specific.
Yeah.
But it was like a level 5 dispel magic.
No.
And if I can't properly elaborate anatomically how I felt it, then I don't think I should get to grant advantage.
no,
but if I can.
Yeah, 100%. I have an idea for this. Definitely gives advantage. Senna, I would say you could do a couple things, either medicine, a like arcana, but we would use it more based on like an alchemical sort of arcana, right? Or if you have another thing in mind.
I wanted to see if we are going to use arcana in a alchemical way. I would probably take a brain sample to see if there are some psychological changes, and using different alchemical salves, see if certain chemicals are present in that matter.
Mm-hmm. That
makes sense.
If you're doing something that invasive, we'll say, that might be something better suited for waiting till you get back to the Priory.
Okay, then I'll wait for that. Then it would just be the investigation of trying to make
like,
those connections.
Of physical, yeah, and also just any other physical evidence you can find.
Yep.
Dimitri, you watch as these three. What we're gonna say is. What?
I would like to lift Solomon's shirt to see if he was branded.
Okay.
So we haven't checked that, have we?
Oh no.
No.
I wouldn't think so. Dimitri, who watches these three, like they're talking amongst themselves, but you're still like you're obviously listening and stuff. You watch them as they start to kind of go to work. They take their Ezra's coat off of his body and they kind of start to unbutton and undress him a little bit just to try and see what they can find. Ezra, with that 22.
What does Papa see?
There is something, I would say something somewhat disturbing. You realize that they're, for the wound, normally covering a couple of very major arteries in his throat, there is a surprising lack of blood. Like there's blood there, that's present, but there's his full-on chest and everything. For someone whose throat has been ripped out, as you've probably in the course of your life have seen people mauled by dogs, or bodies in that sense, right? Like wolves, that sort of thing. Like if throats are ripped by an animal, there's blood, a lot of it. There's not a lot of blood for this. Not like there should be. There are teeth marks.
Are they in his neck?
Yes.
Oh no.
Which also makes you think torn out by an animal, like is what it looks like. But there's just not enough blood here to match that wound with what you would normally expect to find.
Is this something I can roll to try to identify what kind of animal or creature might have left these teeth marks behind?
Nature, probably a nature check. Senna and Esh. Esh, you and Senna. So Esh explains to Senna while you were doing this look over. Charm, for all intents and purposes, charm spells are the alteration of the chemicals in the mind. It's a form of control of matter and energy combined in a very minute, particular way to create or bridge pathways of thought, neural pathways, to where basically making an idea that probably wouldn't have been there temporarily bridged to make it there. They knew that, that under most circumstances with most basic charm abilities, that person knows that they've been charmed afterwards, because that idea, while it's in their head, is not theirs. Once those temporary bindings finish, they know what they just did, but that wasn't their thought, which is part of the reason why charm spells, quote unquote, normally don't end well afterwards, because that wasn't their idea. So that temporary bridging obviously is not something that you can see or detect without, like you said, more invasive means. But that being said, there sometimes is, for those who have fought particularly hard against those sort of charms or mind alterations, there is a little bit of blood vessel poppage in the eyes. It's not like you get a bloody eye like when you're fighting a charm, but in that sense of like, it's like when you've been staring at a TV screen for too long and your eye, the blood vessels in your eyes start to kind of like, you get the red eyes, right? To that, in that aspect, under most circumstances, there is that as a tell after someone's been charmed immediately. It's like you get a little bit of red eyes. This is not present.
Okay.
Which is curious, because that means that whatever had turned Solomon against you was not based in Orphic talent. It was not a traditional sense of that sort of false or fake bridging of mind pathways. This is something different. There is, however, this almost yellowish look to some of the skin around his eyes, which is kind of almost jaundicey, but doesn't seem somehow related to any of this. Just a curious, like, he looks pale. It could also just be from the lack of blood. But the sign that you would normally see in an Orphic charming somebody else, those signs aren't present, because as Esh is explaining to you the particulars of charm spells and how they work, you're not seeing the signs there, which doesn't make sense, because under normal circumstances, how does one compel or change someone's mind to turn on their friends?
I rolled a 21 nature check on the teeth.
The teeth marks impact-wise start on either side of the neck. Almost like a large jaw of an animal had like bared down and clamped onto his neck and then pulled out. But these aren't large teeth like you would imagine a wolf or even a bear would have. Like, those leave deep, large gouges where they would pull the flesh. These are nightmarishly small, almost bigger than needles, but not by a whole lot. It's just like very thin teeth that like grabbed on and then pulled. But with those high rolls, it was like bite, clamp, and it held on for a while.
I think we might be dealing with a chupacabra.
Oh no.
This is weird. Dimitri, You turned into an animal before. Thoughts?
Somewhat. When I shift, I'm still human, like just
Really hairy. You smell like a dog.
not a dog at all.
Oh,
From what my grandmother told me, I am known as a were-tiger.
Huh.
It's just like, okay.
Solid. I don't think I know what a tiger is.
like
You know what a tiger is.
Yeah.
Didn't I meet y'all
Siberian
at
tiger.
a circus?
We have a lion. It's very different. These tigers, they're from the new world.
I'm going to just like every so often, every few seconds, look at Dimitri, and I'm just using like disguise self, some illusion thing, on my arm, that I just kind of like wipe away the tattoos, and then I give it like tiger stripes, and then I'm like, then I mess with the tiger stripes, and then I give it like some fur and like, just
Oh,
trying
for
to get like
goodness
some
sakes.
accuracy, like.
If he wants to see it very badly, I'm gonna shift.
You're trying out like you're doing swatches of makeup to see what he is.
You just hear like little bones cracking every once in a while, and fur just starting to grow.
Maybe. Does that hurt every time? it happens?
No, it just freaks me out every time.
Oh,
Oh, it freaks you out.
freaks.
You say it freaks you out as the three of the other people in the room are just like, okay.
Something ripped the throat out of our friend, and our other friend is like, "Let me show you something." Ah! And we're like, "Yeah, something like that." Actually, probably ripped our friend's throat out.
You know, like I'll go, oh, let me be a princess or a god or something. But if I had to dislocate my shoulder every time, you know, I don't think I'd be in this job. You look great. But
What
I'm from the
kind?
circus, so my great is a little different.
Dimitri, give him
Describe
a
your
give a
tiger
yeah.
self.
Describe your tiger
Siberian
self.
tiger?
Yeah, what the fuck am I looking at, dog?
But cat.
You just see
Ahahaha.
grayish white fur, with like dark stripes. Every now and then, just claws, still hand-like, and then you just see a freaking tail just grow out of nowhere. That's the most painful part.
Ah,
I want to touch it.
His spine just elongated, and you're just like, I want to touch that.
I want to
Right.
put my hands on that.
can I get a sample of your blood just to see exactly what you might be infused with? Do you know what kind of tiger it is?
That I do not. That would be something my parents or family or anybody blood related would know, but
Oh.
I have never met them.
Like a white Siberian. I could only assume. I'll need to
And then
get a blood
finally-
sample from you later.
Finally, you see the blue eyes just turn yellow.
Nice.
Can't say fucking blue eyes anymore. My brain was like, blue eyes, white dragon. God damn.
Beautiful.
Well, can I look at his teeth?
They're fang-like.
Yeah, they don't match the teeth in the
Mm-mm.
body, right?
Nope.
Alright, my work here is done. I don't know what kind of creature could have done this, but from my understanding, it would seem that Solomon was killed not particularly by the ripping out of the throat, but from whatever ripped his throat out. I think they like drained all of his blood
He was insanguinated.
That's the word. I never went to school. And they ripped
Except
his
for
throat
now.
out after. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm a student. It's quite possible that he died before they got his throat off him.
Strange.
Can't live very long without blood.
Aaron,
Yes.
again, don't give me anything I don't deserve. To have a slightly meta conversation.
Mhm.
I built Esh to be extremely researched and
Yeah.
a little bit obsessed with dossiers
Mhm.
and preparation.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the Dimitri thing alone for a bit because we have, our dead friend in the room. Has there been anything that he can readily remember from, dental records would be nice, but I feel like that's a little too on the nose. But anything that has maybe a pattern of exsanguination, animal attacks. I'm starting to feel like the first season of some sort of supernatural show. But or a little bit adjacent to that. This is a little bit indirect, but I think you'll follow me.
Mhm.
Extra security at events that, specifically precede those sorts of like attacks or things like that. But almost I'm more interested in the opposite, like extra security where there shouldn't be, like villages where nothing's going on. Just suddenly guards or foot traffic or something coming through
Right.
that shouldn't have that sort of attention, with almost exclusively that has a dock. Because just kind of putting the things together, we know there's a loss of blood, we know there's a manipulation of blood, and we know that this guy is either, you could say, cowardly or just very smart. I hope that made sense. That's a bit.
Make a history check for me.
Okay.
Oh, gamers.
I did invest into history because I'm old as shit. 19.
There was once an occasion where you were investigating a strange occurrence deep in the eastern side of Europe. This was in your early days. And in those days, you traveled with another individual whose last name was also Idris. You had gone to a location based on some rumors of some strange goings on. Claims of villagers having gone missing to cult-like circumstances are one of the things that kind of set alarm bells off for most people within the fold. You are charged with trying to find other Orphics, but sometimes Orphics slip through the cracks long enough and make enough bad choices to where dark and terrible things happen. This was one of those circumstances. And you had been investigating such an occurrence when a lot of things went terribly wrong. And Senna's father saved your life at the cost of his own. And it was one of the few occurrences where individuals who had gone missing, those citizens had claimed that there was a cult drinking their blood. Sure, there are stories of mythological creatures, but they're usually stories based in obscure facts. It had not really ever come up in the several hundred years, according to the Fold's histories. And this was the last occurrence, and it was believed that all of those members of the cult had perished that day, though bodies were hard to have been recovered when a castle collapses on itself and the stone crushes everything inside. As you're hearing Ezra and Senna make these deductions, make these assumptions, that memory that maybe you had kind of put to the back of your head just as, information filed away for later, now Rolodexes outwards.
Does Senna know the specifics of what happened?
No. Per the Fold's report, the two of you had gone to investigate this cult. It had been expected to be not that crazy, not that serious. And you had quickly found yourselves overwhelmed. It was supposed to have been one Orphic, a twisted individual who had started this cult. It was revealed to have been much more than that. Many more Orphics had been involved. You had been outnumbered. And in the one final moment when the cult leader had maneuvered himself in such a way to bring down the castle on top of all of you, Senna's father made sure you were not inside the castle when that happened. But as no bodies were recovered, it was assumed that he had saved your life, and most of the details had all been buried in that castle.
Ezra.
Yeah?
Pockets and pouches.
Okay.
Sometimes you bury the grief too deep, that when you need it, it is not accessible, but it does affect you. I am guilty of that. Senna, I think we are long overdue for a conversation. You have experienced a loss today, and I'm going to apologize in advance. But our station denotes something great. DM, you'll have to help me out with this.
Mhm.
In case there is some conjecture that I have liberties for, or
Mhm.
you can take over for. So just let me know.
Okay.
In this room, that I assume is pretty bare, and a little bit rectangular,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Major Image to fill up the entire room. And I'm going to cinematically walk through, almost like a report, but it's going to get flooded with esh and emotion. It was weird, you know. I tried to save, try to search for Orphix like Dimitri, who have something good. And you forget that Orphix are people. They are choices, decisions, community. They are angry, misunderstood. Every time we find one, we are working against something. And that something is almost always human nature. I'm in a circus. It goes freaks. The reason I have a circus is because we are ostracized by definition. And all they want is peace. Maybe a little performance. Maybe a little attention. Community. There it is again. Your father and I. I was new. He wasn't. He knew more than I did. Strong. We were sent to a castle. I thought it was one misunderstood kid drinking blood, scaring the villagers, but pockets and pouches. You assume mine were empty. I thought I knew grief because I was an observer. But your father knew better. He did not lie to me, but he didn't tell me the whole truth. That the world is scary. That I misunderstood. And as I'm kind of going through the story, I'm just kind of showing almost like a blueprint of the castle, and it's kind of filling in with the gray and the rubble and the rot and the blood, and then all of the people. Go ahead.
Are there any moments where you show Aerith?
Absolutely.
Senna would walk around the illusion, just trying to take in as much of his father's image as he can.
It's like a POV at times,
Mhm.
and is extremely detailed. Because that's just who Esh is.
Yeah.
He's a detailed guy. There were so many in there. I couldn't believe it. But then I could. I saw what people were capable of for much more stupid reasons. And they had good reasons. They were thirsty, hungry. They were gaunt, full of wrath, full of power. A powder keg. And even when we were winning, we weren't. Your father knew that. He let me fight. I didn't do a good job. I lost a lot of blood. But I was strong. But I misunderstood. The castle was rigged. I think he knew. But he misunderstood. Your father was strong. Strongest person I knew. I wish I had a deck of cards from him. But he sent me away. And some pure magic, reflexive, like a wave. I was inside, and then I wasn't. He could only do it for me. I wanted to stay. I wanted to fight. I convinced him. I carry that in my pockets and pouches. And here we are. Solomon, dead on the bed. Not crushed, but taken. And I can't help but think it's because I wanted to stay just a minute longer. They didn't find all the cult members. And now I'm strong. The strength means nothing. These are vile, cunning, smart. And they hunger. And the wrath did not die. And as the Fold, we know the power of fear. The villagers were afraid, so they were powerful. Next door, they're afraid, so they're powerful. Whatever these signets are, whatever the branding is, it's a symbol, and symbols make people afraid. This is an old enemy. And maybe I am the dumbest creature. But I am choosing to stay. Again. But I do not misunderstand this time. I will empty all of my pockets. I will empty all of my pouches. I am sorry for Solomon, and I'm sorry for your father. I should have been a better student, and I should have been a better teacher. This job has a high cost. We will do our best work. And then the major image collapses, just like the rocks did. in the image. Less and less of it.
There's a.
Senna will,
Go ahead.
Senna will be standing in front of you and place a hand on your shoulder. I know there was a lot to relive, but I thank you for it. Ash, thank you for not choosing the potion.
Of course, my friend. We do not forget. What is the point if we forget? Tell me what you need. Both of you. I will see it done.
I need my lab.
I can't do that.
It's fine.
Yeah, let me just pull it out of my ass. My ass I'm holding real quick.
Oh wow.
The only thing I think is next is to try to identify what creature this is, but I don't really know how to help with that in this exact moment right now.
Ezra, with your assistance and Aaron being so beautiful.
This is so kind.
This is
Giving
such an
and
interesting
yeah.
setting, and I love the approach we have to magic. And I'm a wizard, so that's just kind of that thing. So I don't want to take liberties. I'm being very careful about that.
Yeah.
However, Chris said the magic word, identify.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to frame it in a way that is properly investigative, because this is something that seems, I don't want to use the like meta-human, but that just makes big shows. But something that should not be, something aberrative, I guess. So if there's a way I can combine efforts with Ezra in this moment, given my past experience.
And you're wanting to use identify to look for what? Something out of the ordinary in Solomon, or
you know how there are remnants like at a crime scene of maybe like fingernails that just kind of get, or things under the fingernails, or
Hair.
I don't know the word I want here, but like, oh, that's a terrible word. Parts of a tooth, like from a bite, kind of thing.
Any residuals of a tooth.
Residuals is a great word. Thank you. Yeah.
We're looking for forensic evidence.
Kind of, yeah. And then identifying that. So identifying the area to just like, if there's something in the bite itself that can, even just a name for a creature, or a general like biome that they might, frequent, like anything.
A direction to head towards.
Really, yeah.
I think it's interesting that with identify, particularly, it's if the object is a magic item or some other magical object, you learn of its properties. There is you've done a very detailed search. There is not any remnants of anything foreign, we'll say, in this.
There's
but
no bits.
there's no bits. But here's an little interesting thing I would say is that, without sounding callous, Solomon is no longer alive and therefore basically an object.
Yeah.
Solomon is also Orphic and therefore has magic. Yeah, in that capacity, the way
Especially
we just, especially him, that is how we would describe something Orphic in this setting is like magical, right? So though it doesn't, I would say, work on the finding something other, it does in a sense identifies a lot about Solomon.
Interesting.
And gathering the information that you can, it's almost to me, I would imagine it in a very like Sherlock Holmes kind of way, where like he looks at something and like he's able to like deduce a bunch of stuff about it. It's almost in that sense of like you're looking at because I'm assuming you have identify, Esh. You have identify?
No, I was just curious. Yeah, man.
No, no, because I was making
I
sure
have
you were
identify.
because you have it. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay, so both, yeah, because
Yeah.
I at
Tag
first
team.
you was like you were asking Ezra if the Ezra was gonna do it, you were gonna help, and then I was like, wait, who's the one who's
Oh, I
casting it
see.
here?
Ezra definitely does
Does
not
not
have
have
identify.
identify. Yeah.
I can cast it.
Okay.
Ezra
well,
can
either.
write the word identify on his knuckles and punch Solomon's corpse, but that won't help us in this regard.
I identify that there's a bite, Solomon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically. So I would say if Esh and Asena, you're wanting to both kind of like do this, like a very intensive scan from head to toe, trying to find anything, like.
Yeah, I'll take all night.
It doesn't. I mean, well, I wouldn't say it would take that long, but definitely you could. I would argue that is a potential. You get a glimpse of what the level of power that he contained was very high for someone of
Solomon?
his age. Yes.
Oh. But
He had a lot. Orphic power is based on two principles of being able to control matter and control energy, and all of magic and Orphic power comes from combining those two and interweaving them in some way or another. Senna's body contains
Solomon.
sorry.
Senna?
Solomon's.
When did
sorry.
you die, Senna?
Senna passes away right now in front of us. Solomon's body contains a lot of energy still. There's like a stored power that is contained within the body, and it's not like he's got battery cells within him, but you can sense the amount of power that he had, and he was like storing so much of it and hadn't really used hardly any.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of
There you go. He was a very special boy in many, many ways. But
He was a special little guy.
whatever had done this to him tapped into something. And you're not quite sure what, because this is something unfamiliar to anyone in the history of the Fold. You know what it is you're seeing, kind of. You know that there are these vast stores of energy where a person, almost like a person's, what is it, like their person's chi kind of thing, sort of situation, where it's like that stored central energy within a person's
Their
body.
focus points.
Their focus points, if you will. Their their key points, if you will. He is missing some of that. He has the inside that potential for great power, but there is some that has been taken from him. Like, it's basically like you see that there was a D-sized battery supposed to be here. There is no battery inside. There is just the space for it. But you see how potentially powerful he could have been. But that reservoir is empty.
Mhm.
It's missing.
Drained our boy.
Our boy was strange.
As you are doing this, Esh, you hear a voice in your mind. Ish. This is... He hesitates for a moment. This is Dio. Do you have a moment to speak?
Yes.
Are those present trustworthy?
Yes.
Dimitri, you're watching the intensity of this moment, and your eye drifts to the windowsill, and you see sitting on the outside edge of that window the large black cat with the yellow-green eyes staring into the window. And as your eyes focus on this, you hear this like of like crackling air and energy. Something shifts in the room, and there between the bed you are sitting on and the bed where the others are studying Solomon's body, light and energy shift as a being astral projects itself into this room.
Hey, what the fuck?
Dio, D-E-O, is one of the Council of Seven, the presiding council over the entirety of the Fold, and the one who is stationed at the Black Forest Priory. Dio stands in the room with the four of you. A solemn face of this man who looks probably in his early 40s. This long, big, bushy Viking kind of beard that's like brought down in a bunch of little smaller braids. He stands about the higher end of the 6-foot spectrum. But it's hard to tell because astral projection kind of changes your size. We have received the reports that you have sent, Esh. Ezra, Senna, it is good to see you are alive. I am sorry for the loss of Solomon. He looks, this like ghostly apparition of a person like turns, but his whole body is like he's on a pedestal and just his whole body turns to face Dimitri. You do not know, but we will speak soon. Esh.
Oh.
I am on my way with a small number of reliquists. The search party that had been sent with you was discovered. Those Orphics have also perished.
Oh, shit.
Do you know of the hostages with us?
No.
Ex-hostages.
You have found more?
There are 3. We do not know what connects them. I just thought you should know. They will be coming with us.
Understood. Our skiff shall arrive within the next few hours. We will speak then. I'm sorry for your loss.
Pockets and pouches. Dio.
The astral projection fades out. And Dimitri, you see the cat on the windowsill. If a cat could roll its eyes, it just turns and like leaps over the edge of the shadow into the shadow.
God. I want to
Really
go.
fucking cat.
Yeah, I want to go back to the window and see.
Okay. As you go to the window, do you open it or just like peer out?
I want to open it and look out.
There is no cat.
Rodigger's cat.
You guys watch Dimitri just go over to the window, just like, I need some air.
I'll go over to the body.
Mm-hmm.
I will place the tip of the wand that I have on Solomon's forehead and give it a half twist where a lock symbol appears just like the tattoo he has on his own forehead. And you hear a noticeable like click. And this is... He will not move a muscle for the entire time of the ritual of gentle repose. It is spooky. There's no flexing, that you might do if you stand in one place for too long.
Mm-hmm.
It is simply like he locks himself there with Solomon. And after that time, probably about 11 minutes, I think it is, unlocks. Another click, but more of like a chime, I guess you would say.
The egg timer, ding, you're done.
In a way, yeah.
Oh.
It's cartoonish, but yeah, very close. And without like kind of missing a beat, I'll inform the others. Dimitri, your world's about to change.
Again?
About to.
Just an appetizer. Tiger.
Appetizer.
God damn.
Pretty
I
good.
don't think I can beat that. And that's how
Yeah.
we're going to end for tonight.
Let's go!
Name of the session.
Just an appetizer.
8 Innovation for the Hunted. Episode 8, Appetizer.
Tiger.
Negative.
That was crazy.
A man is dead, everyone.
Oh my gosh, that was wild. Well, thank you everybody who came and hang out with us tonight. Very toy like a tiger. Thank you, Joker, for that.
Yes, toy like a tiger.
Can we start calling you Tony when you're in your were-tiger form?
Oh no, that
Don't
brought
make
back
us get Tony. You won't like Tony.
That just brought back
What
a whole
is
bunch.
this, Tony?
What is this, Tony? Amazing. That was a lot of memories just flashback. That was crazy. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Looking forward to our next session. Next, you don't like me when I'm your furry.
You won't like me when I'm Tony.
Oh my god, that was great. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Thursday for some more Age of Intervention. We'll see you next Tuesday for some random shenanigans. Wednesday, more than likely, for some Vampire the Masquerade. And tomorrow for some Age of Myth bonus content. So looking forward to all of that. In space! Age of Myth in space! we'll see you next time. Praise the mother. Praise the mother. Yeah. So that we'll just add that to we'll add that to our list now. It's don't forget
Mama Moon.
be brave. No, stay fey, be brave. The safe word is mango, and praise the mother. Praise the mother.
Praise the mother.
Praise the mother. The safe word is mango. Good night, guys. Bye.